Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalam ala rasulillahi, amma ba'd. Three very quick points before I deal with what I want to deal with. At the top of the list, I want to congratulate each and every one of you for completing the first aspect of the Hajj of a tamattu', this Umrah that you did yesterday or the day before. I hope and I pray to Allah Azza wa Jal that it weighs heavily in your scales, Yawmul Qiyamah. Second thing is I want to remind you of the hadith that is appropriate. Can't let it lose its weight on your heart and your mind. When we are in our countries, we tend to remember it more. But when we're here, we're overwhelmed with a lot of things that are going on and we tend to forget about it, although it should be and it can be a very important way of just staying inspired. And that's the hadith that the Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the deeds that you do in the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah are the best deeds that you can do in the course of your life. So you remember that, man. You remember that. The deeds during these days. Don't be bakhil. I want to teach you that word, those who don't know. I'm going to say it, you repeat it. Bakhil. Bakhil. Bakhil is stingy. Don't be stingy on yourself. From the sunnah is when the Prophet went up, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a mountain in the elevation, he would say, Subhanallah. He would say, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, because Allah is over the seven heavens. So as you go up, it's as if you're getting closer. He sent the Quran down. His rahmah comes down. When he used to go down a decline, he would say, Subhanallah, far removed from Allah, being low and lowly. Why do I mention that? When you go up and down on the lift, saying Subhanallah, Allahu Akbar, only Allah knows how much that's going to be in your scales. Don't be bakhil on yourself. These 10 days are tremendous. Tawaf, all of the things. We're in a place you could do ibadat here, forms of worship that only you can do. No one else in this ummah can do it because they're not here. And also your mother and your fathers will get that reward, inshallah, those of them who are Muslims. Third thing, guys, and this is important, because I'm your older brother in some cases, I'm your younger brother in some cases, and I'm your brother who is on the same age level in some cases. But whatever the case is, we're getting to know each other. I wanted to share something with you about myself. Allah said in the Quran, إِنَّمَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ إِخْوَةً. The believers are brothers. In the hadith, he said, Al-Muslim akhul Muslim. The Muslim is a brother to another Muslim. So, as your brother, I want to be gentle and easy and understanding, non-judgmental. I want to be compliant, accessible, all of that. But there's something I want you to understand. I have my own background, being an African American and so forth and so on. I reverted to this religion. I am not interested as a Muslim in cultural Islam. I respect everybody's culture. I don't care if you're Nigerian, you come from Mirpur, you come from Hyderabad. I don't care. You're White Reef. I don't care. I respect people's culture. But I'm a Muslim. I don't take culture as the way for me. And that's because when I was a non-Muslim, my mother and my father were telling me Jesus Christ he's the son of Allah. I got to believe in that. And they gave me a picture of Jesus of a white man. Blue eyes, blonde hair, white skin. And that is not consistent with the Bible. And I would have gone to the hellfire for sure had I died on that. My mother and my father gave me that, and they love me more than all of you guys. They didn't mean to send me astray, but they were sending me astray, and they love me. I am not interested in people's culture when it comes to the religion. I want to know what the Prophet did, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know why? When I die, like you guys, and the two angels come to me, the two angels are going to ask three questions. Who is your Lord? And what is your religion? And what did you have to say about that man that came to you? Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The one who says, la adri, I don't know what my religion is. I don't know who my Lord is. What do you have to say with that man who came? So the man is going to say, I heard the people saying something, so I said it too. My mother, my father said Muhammad, I said Muhammad. But I don't really know his sunnah. I don't know his religion. So Allah is not going to ask me about this sheikh, that sheikh, this thing. He's not. I respect scholars and scholarship, but I want to know, where is the proof? So if I'm walking around the Kaaba with my shoes on and you get upset with me, I'm not going to take off my shoes just because you're getting upset with me. Because you're getting upset doesn't make me wearing my shoes wrong. Now, obviously, I told you already, I have to be sensitive to my environment, the condition. But what you do and what you were taught, people's culture, doesn't make me wrong. And I am not infallible. I can make mistakes. Any of you are always allowed, open door policy, green light, men, women, all of you to come and say, you said this, but look at this ayat, look at this hadith. I'm going to embrace it and correct my mistake. But don't get mad at me. Don't get upset with me if I say something that went against what your forefathers said. And that's what happened with Prophet Muhammad and all the prophets and the messengers. Allah said in the Quran, وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمِ اتَّبِعُوا مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهُ قَالُوا بَلْ نَتَّبِعُ مَا أَلْفَيْنَا عَلَيْهِ آبَاءَنَا أَوَلَوْ كَانَ آبَاءُهُمْ لَا يَعْقِلُونَ شَيْئًا وَلَا يَهْتَدُونَ. When it is said to them, follow what was revealed to you by Allah. Quraysh, Abu Lahab, Abu Jahl, they said, nope, we're going to follow what we found our fathers doing. Allah said, although their fathers couldn't read, they didn't know what they were doing, and they were not guided. 2018 in the UK, 2018, and we're still forcing our daughters to get married. 2018. We're doing honor killings that there's no honor in it. And so many other issues. So I think it's important that as we move forward, guys, you understand that. I'm not trying to be tough or rough, but I just want what's correct. That's all. The first talk that I want to give to you guys on this trip, I hope it is not just the mating talk that goes in your head in one ear out the other ear. I need you to hold on to this for the rest of your life, because it is an important message of the Quran, and that is the message of not being of the people who Allah described them as the most in terms of loss, Yawm al-Qiyamah. There will be a lot of losers on different levels, but the one who is most lost is this one who Allah mentioned in Surah Al-Kahf and the last 10 ayats. And Surah Al-Kahf, the cave, is an important ayat, surah for the Muslims. The first 10 ayat and the last 10. Whoever memorizes them will be protected divinely from Dajjal, Yawm al-Qiyamah, if he comes. And the last 10, Allah said, قُلْ هَلْ نُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِالْأَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا الَّذِينَ ضَلَّ سَعْيُهُمْ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَهُمْ يَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّهُمْ يُحْسِنُونَ صُنْعًا أولئك الذين كفروا بآيات ربهم ولقائه فحبطت أعمالهم فلا نقيم لهم يوم القيامة وزنا. Tell your people, Ya Muhammad, should I not inform you people of those who will be the most lost Yawm al-Qiyamah? You want to know who's going to be the biggest losers Yawm al-Qiyamah? They are those people who do a lot of deeds and they think that they're doing the right thing, but they disbelieved in the meaning of their Lord and they disbelieved in his ayat. As a result of that, their deeds will be rendered null and void, and we won't give them any weight Yawm al-Qiyamah. This ayat was talking about the non-Muslims of Quraysh who did a lot of stuff that was positive and good right here in this sacred place. They were the custodians of the mosque. The pilgrims used to make pilgrims in Jahiliyyah before Islam, and they used to feed them and they used to give them water. They used to go to Mina and do all of these things that we're doing. But the Prophet came and cleaned it up. So they did a lot of things. They cleaned the masjid. They took care of the Kaaba. They did a lot. But look what Allah said about them in that ayat. In another ayat he said, وَمَا كَانَ صَلَاتُهُمْ عِنْدَ الْبَيْتِ إِلَّا مُكَاءٍ وَتَصْدِيَةٍ. Their salat at the Kaaba, meaning the tawaf. They used to make tawaf. Allah said their tawaf was nothing but clapping hands and whistling. And that's because they didn't believe in Allah. So in this weather, they would make tawaf. And the lady during that time, if they wanted to make tawbah because they believed in Allah, but they made shirk, they put idols all around the Kaaba, 360. Allah said in the Quran, وَلَئِن سَأَلْتُم مَّنْ خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ لَيَقُولُنَّ اللَّهُ. If you ask them, who created the heavens and the earth? They're going to say, verily Allah did. Prophet Muhammad's name was, his father's name was Abdullah. They believed in Allah, but they believed the idols were intercessors with Allah, so they made shirk. So the woman back then, if she wanted to make tawbah to Allah, she would take off all her clothes and go around the Kaaba naked. And the other people would look away out of respect for the Kaaba being the house of Allah. She had sincerity. But Allah said that was nothing but clapping hands and whistling. Like when I was a Christian, African American church, we used to really get excited. My African brothers from Nigeria tell you that. Africans, when it comes to Christianity, we're the most passionate. We sing, we dance, we catch the Holy Spirit. We fall all over the place. We go crazy. But it's nothing but singing and dancing because they're making shirk and Allah won't accept it. He won't accept it. So that's the message today. To remind you of all of these efforts that you made into this point right now. The cheddar, the dough, the cash that you spent. All of that walking that you've done so far. Sleeplessness, fatigue. Who in his right mind is going to be satisfied with that just going for naught? Who? I work for the masjid, and in the masjid, my salary goes straight to my account. If I look at my account and they took half of my salary, a quarter of my salary, all of my salary, I'm going into the masjid, into the office, and I'm going to turn that table over and say, where's my money? And that's my dunya. And you feel the same way. I don't want anybody stealing £1 from me because that's my blood, sweat, and tears, and that's taking money out of the mouth of my children, my babies. That's my dunya. What about my akhirah? Why are we like many times very easy with our efforts, like these efforts out here, going for no avail? There's not one ayat, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are a number of ayat where this message comes to us over and over, like the two I mentioned. Allah said in the Quran, وَقَدِّمْنَا إِلَى مَا عَمِلُوا مِنْ عَمَلٍ فَجَعَلْنَاهُ هَبَاءً مَنْثُورًا. Allah said, Yawm al-Qiyamah, I'm going to get their deeds, and I'm going to make their deeds scattered particles, haba'an manthura. Like if there's some sunlight coming through the window here, and you hit a pillow, those particles that come up, his salat, his zakat, his walking, his sa'i, his tawaf is going to be like that. He said in another ayat, وَلَا تَكُونُوا كَالَّتِي نَقَدَتْ غَزْلَهَا مِنْ بَعْدِ إِنْكَاثٍ قُوَّةً. Don't be like the lady who knitted something. She knitted a shirt, a vest, she knitted it. She sat there, put the time in. She knitted it. After it became complete, she ripped it up. My mother is a crochet artist, and she does these intricate patterns. We used to get inside of it and mess up her thing. She wanted to really do us in when we did that because it takes a lot of hard work. Allah said, don't be like that lady who sat and knitted whatever she knitted, very intricate, took a lot of time. And then after finishing it, she ripped it up. Don't be like that. Many ayat telling us, don't be like these people. Many. Allah said in the Quran, and there are many, but I'm going to move on to my point. He said in the Quran, subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا أَعْمَالُهُمْ كَسَرَابٍ بِقِيئَةٍ يَحْسَبُهُ ظَمْآنُ مَاءً حَتَّى إِذَا جَاءَهُ لَمْ يَجِدْهُ شَيْئًا وَوَجَدَ اللَّهَ حَاضِرًا فَوَفَّاهُ حِسَابُهُ وَاللَّهُ سَرِيعُ الْحِسَابِ. Look at the eloquence of the Quran talking to the Arabs and the mentality of the Arabs that they could relate to. Allah said, those people who disbelieve, their deeds will be like a mirage that the Arabs knew. When you're in the desert and you look on the horizon, it looks like the horizon, the heat waves cause it to look like it's moving. It's not real. The dunya is like that. It's there, but it's not real. So the guy sees an oasis down there due to the fatigue and the sun. So they go down to the oasis. Allah said when they get there, they don't find it. Anything is there. It's not water. It's not an oasis. Meaning, he thought what he was doing was right, but it's just a mirage. And there are many other ayat, guys, that I could share with you, but I have to go on. But I will share with you one hadith, and it is important. because it shows you how the companions looked at this issue. Prophet Muhammad told the people, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, la'alamanna aqwamin min ummati. I know some people from my ummah who are going to come yawmul qiyamah, and they have the deeds like the mountain of Tihama. There's a mountain going towards Yemen, between Yemen and Saudi Arabia. It's called Tihama, beautiful mountain. They will have big deeds like that. Hajj, Ramadan, Sadaqah, this, that. He said Allah is going to make them into scattered particles. The companion Thoban, he said, Ya Rasulullah, describe those people to us so that we are not unknowingly from them. He said, they are those people who, when they're by themselves, away from the eyes of the people, they do the haram. Drink khamr, make zina, things that people don't know that they're doing. When they seclude themselves away from the eyes of the people, they're doing haram things. He called it the maharam of Allah. So all of those indicate and show the losers yawmul qiyamah are the ones who do a lot of efforts, and for one reason or another, those efforts will be rendered null and void. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm here to remind you of something right now. All of this effort that we're doing out here, all of these efforts that you're going to do, there's something wrong with a person's mentality. I'm not saying his iman, his aql, something is wrong. If you are willing to distribute all of these efforts for somebody else. So I'm going to share with you a number of things that we do that will render your deeds null and void. And I'm not judging anybody, and I'm not speaking condescendingly to anybody. I'm just trying to be a voice of reason to say to you, wake up, man. Wake up. We're not angels and we're going to make mistakes, no doubt. But there are certain things that if you do it, you're guaranteed a ticket that your salary is going to be taken at the end of the month. And nobody will allow that from amongst us. At the top of the list, guys, at the top of the list, the worst thing that you can do is to make shirk with Allah. And shirk means a lot of things. Shirk, or making partners with Allah. Doing things for people and for Allah as well. Like this Hajj. When the Prophet performed Hajj, he said, oh Allah, I'm about to perform a Hajj, and I'm not showing off. It's for you. I'm not doing this to show off. I'm doing it for you. And that's the meaning of labbaik Allahumma labbaik. Labbaik la sharika lak labbaik. I'm here for you, nobody else. In another hadith he said, anyone who does an action for me and someone else, I will reject his action and I will reject him as well. The best sadaqah, when you give sadaqah, is when the left hand doesn't know what the right hand gave. Meaning, you were so sincere, your wife didn't even know what you were doing. If you can do that, if you can help it. So in our culture, unfortunately, some of our culture, if someone's going to give sadaqah, they even post the names of the people in the mosque, who gave what, and so forth and so on. You should try to do things where it's only between you and Allah. And that's why fasting gets so much reward, because only you and Allah know that you're doing it. Whereas everything else, people are seeing it. And you have to. We come from a culture and a society where we want people to acknowledge us and to see what we're doing. We want to be appreciated in our jobs. And that's okay. We want our children to appreciate what we do for them. That's okay. But when it comes to your worship for Allah, you should try to do things just between you and Allah, and that's it. So stay away from that issue. And the mobile phone, this thing that we do, that people do, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, that will compromise your Hajj. That will compromise your Hajj. I didn't say taking mobile videos and sending them is haram. I didn't say that. But think about why you're doing it. Think about what you're doing. Second thing is innovation. Doing things and you don't know why you're doing them. Like at Safa and Marwa. How many of you, with a show of hands, actually saw the rocks at the top of Safa and Marwa? Anybody see the rocks? The actual rock, yeah. They left some of the rocks so people can see it, appreciate it. They had to enclose it as well, some of them. But anyway, if you were to see, I told you when you perform Umrah, you should face the Kaaba and make the dua. Some people are facing the rocks, making dua towards the rocks. Rocks have enough, it's just a mountain. I don't want to say it's just a mountain. I don't want to say that. They're serious mountains, but it's not the goal and the objective. The Kaaba is more important. So you'll find people facing the rocks. When we're going to stone the Jamarat, there are people going to pick up pebbles and put their pebbles in Zamzam water overnight to give them some extraordinary power and ability. So when they hit the shaitan, they're going to knock his brains out. Exactly. Although the idea may seem to you okay, this is what happened to the Christians. This is how Jesus became the Son of Allah. Because it seemed a good idea. وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ عُزَيْرٌ ibn Allah وَقَالَتِ النَّصَارَى الْمَسِيحُ ibn Allah. The Jews said that Uzair was Allah, and the Christians said that Isa was Allah because his mother didn't have a husband, and so forth and so on. Innovation. Not just innovation in Mecca, guys, but innovation in your religion, period. The way you make the dhikr of Allah, what you believe, and the things that you say. It's a problem. It's a problem. So innovation. The hadith said, anyone who does a deed that is not from what I brought, it will be rejected. No matter who you are, no matter what you did. So you have to do things the right way. And as professionals, you would agree with me, you can't do your job the correct way if you don't have knowledge about your job. I don't know about your jobs, but can you imagine I came and I spent a day or two or three at your job and I became an authority in your job and I haven't been trained. I have no idea about your job. I have no real technical training. You're going to look at me as if I'm insane. It goes to be the case in the other way. A lot of people, like I was a Christian. I just received the religion from my mother and my father, but I didn't know until I got older and I started reading. What they're teaching me is not consistent with the Bible. Even with their own beliefs, it's not consistent. So many of us, we have been handed a cultural religion. If someone were to ask you, why are you doing that? Where does it come from? The answer is going to be, I don't know. Not all of you, but many of us. Why are you doing that? And where does it come from? When the mu'adhin makes the adhan, we were taught that we should kiss our thumbs and wipe our eyes. I asked the uncle in my masjid, why do you do that? He said, because if you do that, you won't go blind. I said, you mean to tell me you have a formula that can get rid of blindness and you're not getting money off of that? Where did that come from? He was taught that. He was just taught that. Where's the proof of that? Quran and Sunnah, it was just what was taught. When we say the word khinzir, you guys know what khinzir means, right? Pig, pig. Allah mentioned pig in the Quran. حُرِّمَتْ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَةُ وَالدَّمُ وَلَحْمَ الْخِنْزِيرِ. Haram for you is the dead carrion, blood, and the meat of pigs. Some of us have been taught in our culture, when you hear the word pig, you do like that. Where does that come from? Prophet Muhammad said that. No, brother, Prophet Muhammad didn't say that. It's just culture. It's culture. So don't get it conflated. I'm not putting anyone's culture down. I'm just saying, when culture is mixed up with the religion, it's a problem. Innovation will destroy your religion. So if you don't know, just ask. Don't do anything that you don't know. Another issue, Ikhwani, as it relates to those things that will destroy your religion, and they are many, is what I wrote down here. And that is not praying. Not praying. The very first thing Prophet Muhammad said that will be looked into Yawm al-Qiyamah will be your salat. It's the first thing that Allah is going to ask you about, your prayer. He said if your prayer was right and exact, then all of your other deeds, fasting, zakat, hajj, everything is going to be right and exact. And you're going to be successful and you're going to be happy. But if your prayer was lacking, the rest of your deeds are going to be lacking. So now that you're here at Hajj, if you were not praying, listen to this, if you were not praying, you have to pray now and continue to pray. There is no fasting for the one who doesn't pray. There is no hajj for the one who doesn't pray. Prophet Muhammad says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, whoever misses Salat al-Asr, his deeds will be destroyed. Just Salat al-Asr, because that's the time when you're working, usually. What about the one who misses Salat al-Fajr, which is the heaviest salat on the hypocrite? What about the one who misses all of the prayers? If he misses just Asr, his deeds will be destroyed. So I'm not here to judge anybody. Listen. In the month of Ramadan, there are people who fast, but they're not praying. That's not the fast of Islam. You have to pray. You don't always have to fast. If you're traveling, you can break your fast. But when you're traveling, you have to pray. When you're sick, you pray sitting down. Prayer is never taken off of you. Fasting is taken off of you. Hajj is not always wajib upon you. Zakat is not always wajib upon you. So you have to pray, guys. You have to pray. Now, in the month of Ramadan, we prove that we can pray. Because some of us who are laxed in prayer, we made more prayer. We fasted all of that time. We got up for Fajr time and we took suhoor. And after taking that suhoor in the morning, we prayed. You did it in Ramadan, you proved it. Outside of Ramadan, in Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah, Dhul Hijjah, you have to pray. So now you're at Hajj. I can't impress this upon you enough. And we were talking earlier about the lone sheep getting devoured by the wolf. Now that we're around each other and we're supporting each other, you have people who, because they're praying, you're going to pray. You won't be the only one sitting by yourself. So we help each other. Outside of Hajj, if you're hanging out with people who don't pray, people who are not Muslims, people who are not helping you, you're going to do what they do. As they say, birds of a feather flock together. That's why you have to surround yourself with people who are going to strengthen you, help you, support you. The next issue, and those three issues are concerning Allah's rights. And there are many other things. Don't make shirk. Don't show off. Don't do magic. Putting magic on people or taking it off. The Prophet says, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, anyone who goes to a soothsayer and believes in what he says has disbelieved in what was revealed on Muhammad. His deeds get destroyed. So I think someone from my family has evil eye, they have magic. I go to a soothsayer and I ask him something and he gives me some potion. That will destroy your deeds. And there are many things connected to Allah. Shirk, innovating in his religion, not praying, and many other things. But now I want to talk about a few things concerning our interpersonal relationships. That's between the slave and Allah. Now we're talking about between ourselves. And we're going to talk first about the most important relationship between you and your parents. Andrew, my main man, 50 grand. You're a revert, right? Yes. Your parents living? One dad, no mom. Is the other one a Muslim? No. Andrew, like we have parents who are disbelievers. We're going to ask you guys to make dua for our parents while you're on this trip. Not just now, but, when you're doing your thing. As Muslims, we still are commanded to respect them. Listen to me right now. Andrew has a story how he accepted Islam. The Shaykh Khalil, where is he at? Shaykh Khalil, is he here? He's the older white brother from Surrey. He sat next to me in the plane. Him and his wife from Austria. Her name is Fatima. The Sheikh was telling me about the history of Surrey, and the people had their noses up in the air and stuff like that. But then I met other sisters, Saima, and other people from that area. They didn't seem like they had their noses up in the air. Nonetheless, we have non-Muslim relatives, parents, and we all got our stories, all of us. Listen, had you guys been raised by Sikhs or Hindus and you were non-Muslims, like my friends, I came to Islam, my friends didn't. I don't know why Allah chose me and didn't choose them. He chose Andrew, didn't choose his friends. Had you guys been raised as Sikhs and Hindus, could you guarantee that you would have been a Muslim? You could have been like your Sikh friends, Hindu friends. You could have been just like them. It doesn't make sense to you. You don't want to do it. But you didn't have to make that choice. Your mothers and your fathers, by Allah's permission, they gave you Islam. They gave you the ultimate ni'mah. And that's why it is not okay for you to forget them on this trip. And it's not okay for you to be bad to them. It's not okay, even if they're difficult, for you to give reciprocity in that difficult equation. They're bad to you, you be bad to them. You and your money belong to your parents. I say that to all of you people. The ayat of the Quran as dealing with Hajj, Al-Yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum. Allah said to the Prophet at Hajj, today I completed my favors on you. And he said the greatest ni'mah, al-Islam. Your parents gave that to you as a gift. One of the things that will destroy your deeds is uquq al-walidain, being bad to your parents. Prophet Muhammad said that the biggest sin was 3. One of them was being bad to your parents. And then he said, the person who cuts off his relationships, his deeds will be cut off. So if a person is bad to his parents, you cut them off, boycotted them, Allah doesn't accept your deeds. On Mondays and Thursdays, your deeds go up to Allah. Allah will forgive every Muslim who doesn't make shirk with him and who doesn't have an ongoing drama and beef with another Muslim. Allah will say to the angels, leave these two until they make peace. You're here at Hajj and you got drama with your parents. You have to get on the horn and you have to call them and say, hey, listen, forgive me, I'm really sorry. That's the most important interpersonal relationship on the face of the earth. And that's why Allah in many ayat put his haqq along with the haqq of the parents. The Prophet said about Hajj, Allah will not be pleased with you until your parents are pleased with you. Allah will not be pleased with you till your parents are pleased with you. So I can go on and on and on and on about, I just want to light that bulb in your head. Get serious, man. Who in his right mind is going to go out here, do all this stuff out here and not rectify the situation? Okay, my parent is dead. They died on bad terms. Then you need to bring some tears to your eyes for this mistake that you allowed to happen. And you need to make tawbah during these days, because on the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, the day of Arafah, that's the day Allah forgives people and prevents them from going to the hellfire more than any other day. Now is the time to make tawbah. As Allah mentioned in the Quran, وَتُوبُوا إِلَى اللَّهِ جَمِيعًا أَيُّهَا الْمُؤْمِنُونَ. All of you should make tawbah to Allah. Ask Allah to forgive you for what you did. After the parents, I'll say to the Muslim sister back there that the woman cannot pray, the woman cannot fast, the fast is not wajib except her husband is okay. Prophet Muhammad said any woman who's disobedient to her husband, when she prays, her salat does not go beyond her throat. Now, many of the men or those who have wives who are challenging, when they hear this hadith, they get happy. Just like the parent who has children who are not nice to them. But when the tables are turned, now you're a child. What about your relationship with your parent? You got to rectify that. All right, the brother, yeah, let's say that, Sheikh, say that. Let my wife know Allah won't accept your salat until your husband is pleased with you. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to say that because the Prophet said that. But at the same time, what about you and your parent? What about you and your parent or parents? So the Muslim lady, she doesn't fast unless she says to her husband, can I fast? Which brings me to an issue. Innovation will destroy your deeds. There's an innovation that comes as a result of being in the West, and that is the feminism. You know, the feminism of the West. Islam, as I told our sisters on the bus, they're not second-class citizens. This Hajj has a lot to do with women, how it has come to us. It was from the companions, Abu Bakr's wife, so many issues. Hajar running between the Safa and Marwa, so many issues. She's not a second-class citizen. But that doesn't mean you have to go overboard, sister, and become a feminist, meaning I want to be equal to a man. Allah said in the Quran, "Laysa dhakru kal untha." The man and the woman is not the same. Now that needs an explanation. I'm just talking about the innovation of, this feminism. Now when we come to Hajj, we don't see women being feminist. We don't see the feminist mind at Hajj. Why? Because Hajj is difficult, it's tough. We don't see the lady saying, I want to do everything the men have to do. No, she wants to take the concessions, and rightly so, because Islam looked out for her. Now, don't get it wrong and don't get it twisted. Our mother Khadija, when we think of her, she has money, she had money, she was strong. No one's looking at her as a second-class citizen or being subjugated. None of us. She was strong. in the way a woman could be strong. She can have a PhD. She can be intelligent. She can be whatever. But that doesn't mean she has to be like the man. So as it relates to our interpersonal relationships, guys, your family members, you have to take care of that situation. Because your deeds will not be accepted Monday and Thursday. Tomorrow's Thursday. What you did since Monday will go up to Allah Azza wa Jal. It won't be accepted if you have ongoing beef with your relatives. And that's why before leaving for Hajj, you should settle the score with people. Make things right. Another issue about our interpersonal relationships is the issue of the debt. The dain. The longest ayat of the Quran is the ayat of the debt in Surah Al-Baqarah. It's the longest ayat. It takes up a whole page. It's a big problem. Big problem. Prophet Muhammad said, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that the person's deeds won't be accepted Yawm al-Qiyamah until his dain, his debt, is satisfied. We live in a society that is oriented and geared on everybody being in debt. Whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. As soon as you're born, you're indebted. That's something we can't help. That's just the society we were born into. But what about the debt where I'm taking from people unnecessarily? That's a big problem. If a person has a debt, he should learn about the fiqh and the understanding of the debt. It is not a joke, guys. It is not a joke. Prophet Muhammad was getting ready to pray the janazah over a man, and before saying Allahu Akbar, this janazah is a lot of rewards for you here. Only here do you have a janazah after each prayer. Here. So after the prayer, make sure you pray the janazah. He was about to perform the janazah on the man. He raised his hand and he stopped. He turned around and he said, does this man owe anyone money? The man said, yes, Ya Rasulullah. He owes money. He owes me 2 dirhams. That's about 15 pounds or 10 pounds. He owes me 2 dirham. He said, then you guys pray on him. And he left. 10 pounds, 15 pounds. He didn't pray on that man for 10, 15 pounds. Another incident happened. He got ready to pray on a man. He said, does this man owe anybody money? And man said, yes, he owes me money. Rasulullah got ready to leave. Another man said, Ya Rasulullah, don't worry, I'll pay his debt for him. His kunya Abu Qatada. He said, I'll pay his debt. I'll pay it. He said, okay. He prayed on him. Rasulullah would see that man Abu Qatada in the streets and say, Abu Qatada, did you pay his debt? He said, no, because it was not a lot of money. He was saying to him, he's burning. He's burning. When he finally paid the money, he said, now his skin has been protected. It cooled down. The debt is not a joke, guys. Now, I don't have time to get to the details of this, but owing Muslims is different than owing non-Muslims. You have to give non-Muslims their money back. You have to give them their money back because it's their haqq. But as it relates to Muslims, you shouldn't make hajj if you owe people money without saying to them, can I make hajj? Because you're using their money. And this compromises the brotherhood of Islam. People hate you and they don't like what you're doing in this oppression. Which brings me to the next issue. He told us, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that people will come Yawm al-Qiyamah with a lot of deeds, a lot of goodness, a lot of things of salat, zakat, and som, and hajj. But the one who did it, he hit this guy, he spilled his blood, he stole his money, he accused this one unjustly, he did this one to that one, he cursed that one out. He says, so this person would be given his deeds. And he will be given his deeds until they satisfy. And he will be given his deeds. His ex-wife will be given his deeds. This one, his ex-business partner, will be given his deeds. This one, his neighbor, will be given his deeds. And then if his deeds are exhausted before they get their haqq, their bad deeds will be thrown on him. Now, I know this is not the first time you guys heard this hadith, guys. I know this is not the first time you heard this. So right now, we have a lot of people here performing hajj. But do we have a lot of pilgrims? We have a lot of people fasting Ramadan. But do we have a lot of people really fasting? We have people making themselves hungry. Hajj, one of the goals and objectives of hajj Whoever does the Hajj, as Allah said in the Quran and the Hadith, فَمَنْ فَرِدَ فِيهِنَّ الْحَجِّ فَلَا رَفَثْ وَلَا فُسُوقْ وَلَا جِدَالَ فِي الْحَجِّ. If you perform Hajj without speaking lewd and without oppressing people, you'll go back like the day your mother gave birth to you. It's not about sightseeing, as people think. Eating the burgers that they have and going to the marketplace, all of that is cool and it's a part of it. But Hajj is setting your scale correctly. This is what this is really about. So there are many other things that we can mention. I mean, a lot. I think for the rest of the duration of the trip, we should be reminded of these issues because they're the issues that Shaitan, he comes and he makes us forget about them as we bask in the glow of Mecca and we're just here. Hajj is serious. This is a serious journey that you have embarked upon, and rest assured, a Shaitan is not going to allow a person to come to Hajj and leave Hajj and he's just going to let it be a walk in the park for you. He's going to try to rob you and steal your time, your money, and your deeds. Now, I don't want you guys to sit there and look sad and I put a damp on your parade. I could have come here and give you an uplifting talk. I would like to, and we'll do that. So inshallah, down the line. But who do you want? A brother who's going to placate you? Or a brother who's going to tell you, this is not a joke. This is really serious. And the Prophet used to tell the people things that made them think, we're all going to Jannah. Whoever says, La ilaha illallah, is going to go to Jannah. And then he would give them a talk where they said, none of us thought we were going to go to Jannah. When he used to tell the people, none of you will go into Jannah because your deeds. None of you can do enough to go to Jannah because of your deeds. You only go to Jannah by the rahmah of Allah. And the Jannah is what no eyes have ever seen, no ears have ever heard, and no human being has ever contemplated it. No one. So going to the toilet, may Allah bless you. When the Prophet came out of the toilet, his sunnah was to say, Ghufranaka, Allah forgive me. He didn't commit a sin inside of the toilet. He said, Ghufranaka, to say this one ni'mah of being able to relieve myself, Ya Allah, I can't thank you enough for this one ni'mah of being able to relieve myself. What about the ni'mah of being able to see, being able to hear, having children, have a job, all of the things that we have. And if you were to count the number of Allah's favors, you would never be able to do it. You won't go to Jannah because of your deeds. You go because of the rahmah of Allah. So I don't want anyone to think I'm trying to be negative. I just want to switch a light on and say to you, hey, it would be Shaitan on me if I didn't give you this as the first talk. You remember, this Hajj is a golden opportunity. It's a tremendous opportunity. So all of us, myself included, all of us have to be mirrors one to another, and we have to remind each other about what is the main reason why we're here. And if the main reason was, I'm going to get off of work, Hajj is wajib, I'm just going to do it, and my behavior is reflective of that, then you have that opportunity right now to shift gears and to readdress your niyyah and your way of thinking. Hajj is not a joke. It's serious. So I end by sharing with you this hadith that happened to a man. He came into the masjid and he prayed 2 rakats very quickly without any discipline and without concentrating. And then he went and he said, Salaam alaikum ya Rasulullah. He said, Wa alaikum salam, go back and pray. You didn't pray. The man went back and prayed very quickly without discipline. He came back, Salaam alaikum Rasulullah. He said, Wa alaikum salam, go back and pray. You didn't pray. Third time, very quickly, no discipline. Salaam alaikum Rasulullah, go back and pray. You didn't pray. He said, this is the prayer I know. And then he taught him how to pray. When you want to pray, make a good wudu. Face the Qibla. Say Allahu Akbar. Read what is easy from the Quran. When you go into ruku', stay there calmly. And he went through the whole prayer. The point is, he thought he prayed according to his mind. He thought he performed Hajj according to his mind. He thought he gave sadaqah according to his mind. That's what he thought. And that's why the ayah said, shall you not tell them who will be the most lost Yawm al-Qiyamah? The one who thinks he's doing good. He thinks he's doing good. But she's going to come out as a loser. So I'm going to make dua for you guys, and I ask you as well to make dua for our success, your success. And on behalf of Brother Andrew and some of the other reverts, that you guys use this opportunity, this time as well, to make dua that Allah guides all of those non-Muslims who are connected to us. Some of us are married to women as well who are Christians. They're not Muslims. So we want to remind you of the haqq that we have on you in that regard, that you make dua for them, just like your relatives and your friends back in the UK told you, make dua for me, make dua for me. We're going to add on to that. Make dua for our parents to be guided to this religion. هذا وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.